Once again, from the very beginning, we notice something subtle but unmistakable. Not just what happens, but how they're treated.
Call tomorrow and ask for Don.
At a storefront job service, both our testers pay a fee and sign up.
If I give you a list of jobs, okay? And there's one particular job on there.
John is told pleasantly it's against the rules to share a confidential job listing with a friend. But when Glenn gets that information, it's a lecture, complete with a little warning about laziness.
I'm going to limit your jobs. I'm going to monitor you real close. Because I've had people come in here, give them good job leads, they never show up. They never show up. Because they're too lazy to work.
How often, how many times would you hear lectures about laziness or showing up or drug abuse?
Quite often, in a lot of the situations.
More than once, John is encouraged about a job while Glenn is turned down flat. This dry cleaning business is advertised for help out front at the counter.
What's your full on application? The positions are taken. Positions taken.
Hi, still positions available?
As far as I know, yes.
Since John and Glenn have dealt with different people, we asked them each to go back a few days later to see if the same thing happens. It does. Glenn is told.
I really don't know anything about it.
John is told.
Yeah, they're still interviewing people.
They are?
Yeah.
Positions are still available?
Yeah.
These are life-threatening situations. When you talk about a person's work, that's life-threatening to them. That's what they do.
At this point, there's only one more area to explore. John and Glenn need to find someplace to live. Right off, we start hearing something different.
There's a Catholic church 4 blocks up the street.
The building manager gives John a relaxed description of the area.
So you were being kind of welcomed to the neighborhood.
Yeah. Whereas I felt like I would be in boot camp, and he was the drill instructor.
I'm strict, I'm tough, I use whatever I have to enforce my.
He also made reference to the fact that he wanted to keep his building clean because it was not a ghetto.
There were other building managers who seemed perfectly cordial and businesslike.
What's included? All of this, gas and electric?
Yeah, we furnish stove and refrigerator.
Glenn left satisfied he had the same chance as anyone else at getting this apartment. But 5 minutes later, John arrived. Listen.
Is it a good neighborhood?
Oh, so far pretty good.
Yeah?
But they're moving in.
Really?
Yeah. I just showed this to them when I moved. Yeah. I don't know how long it's going to be this as good as it is, but...
Have a nice day, racism. On the surface, let me show you this place, and you know, I'm not going to do anything illegal as soon as you're gone, and one of them was just here.
And this is what happens when John and Glenn spot this sign at another apartment building and go in to inquire. John goes first.
So 1 bedroom, it's got air conditioning.
The manager gives John a set of keys.
The key system works as your master. Okay. Okay.
John tours the vacant apartment. He's told it's available immediately.
Got a couple other places I'm going to look at, and if I decide on this one, I'll be back. I'll have this filled up. Okay?
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you.
Bless you and have a good day.
John leaves. And listen what happens when Glenn walks in. Suddenly,
The apartment has been rented?
the manager explains that regrettably, early that morning, a woman paid a deposit on the last available apartment.
Oh, called in earlier this morning?
There's nothing for Glenn to see, so he leaves.
Bye-bye. You too. Okay.
Once again, we decide to go in search of an explanation.
May we ask you a couple of questions? These 2 gentlemen came in, and when this one came in, you gave him keys to an apartment, 1 bedroom with air conditioning. But when this gentleman came in 10 minutes later, you said there was no apartment available.
No, I told this gentleman I had a call on the apartment.
But we pointed out what he had said. He had told Glenn the apartment had been rented by a woman that morning. Yet he showed John the apartment in the afternoon.
Oh, ma'am, I am not prejudiced. I got Mexican, I got Jewish, my God.
How many black people in this apartment?
There's none.
At this point, the building owner appeared, trying to throw us out.
I'm asking you to move your camera, okay?
Right.
Out of the apartment or call the police to you, okay? We have never discriminated. As long as they don't have 4 or 5 kids, we do not have any empty, so out.
Later, Glenn remembered the manager's parting words.
He said, bless you both. And that infuriated me. How dare you wish blessings on me after you have just insulted me, after you have just told me that I can't live here because of the color of my skin.
We will have moved a step forward when white people feel as angry and as animated and as outraged about this as we do. I mean, we're not surprised, but whenever this is confronted, I'm confronted with this, I'm angry.
You're sitting in a democracy and you want to say, Jane or Johnny, you can go all the way. This is open. This is America. But you know what just happened to you in the store. And you know that that's America, too.
In quite a few ways, yes, it has been rough.
After 2.5 weeks, our investigation is over. And even these two professional discrimination testers say this was an experience that opened their eyes.
I didn't realize the big differences in all these situations, and I couldn't really believe it, that it was happening.
You walk down with a suit and tie, and it doesn't matter. You carry yourself in a very respectful manner. It doesn't matter. Someone will make determinations about you, determinations that affect the quality of your life, and the only basis is the one thing that will not change about you. I'm not going to take off black skin. I'm going to be black forever.
A footnote. We chose St. Louis for this report, but we think it could have been any city, and the National Studies on Discrimination bear this out. That's why our experts, Malveaux and Alexander, both wanted to emphasize that they think if things are going to change for black Americans, it will only be when national leaders in business and politics say, this can't go on, it's just not fair. And finally, after we completed our interviews with John and Glenn here in New York, we couldn't resist just one more test. We taped the two of them just a few blocks from our studio as they each tried to catch a New York cab to head home. Watch as the first cab sails straight past Glenn to pick up John.
I gotta go to LaGuardia.